Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Thank you for stopping by. Well, come in today. You're very, very welcome. It's all good to see you back. You might notice I've actually changed the back a little bit. I got given this plant a little while back and I thought, well, that actually looks good back there. So I just moved the camera slightly. I trust you enjoyed my last video on the Grateful Dead and through Jerry Garcia and the boys. We looked at the iconic mover and shaker that those guys were, drawing crowds through the whole 30-year career. So I trust you found that one encouraging. We're going from there to 1987 in East Bay, California. Originally called The Sweet Children. Billy Armstrong on vocals and guitar, Mike Dirk on bass, John Kafinga and drums at the start. Became Trey Cool on drums, and Jason White, who had a bit of a go on guitar as well. Guy we're talking about there is the iconic punk rockers Green Day. They released in 1990, the 39/Smooth was their first album, and then in 1991, Kerplunk, an independent release. It's regarded as one of the highest selling independent releases of all time. So it's only going to be a matter of time before these guys got signed to a record label. In fact, there were quite a few record labels sort of circling them, and they eventually got signed. 1993, out came the album Dookie. This is classed as a melodic rock, just going slightly away from that pretty hard rock punk start, but still very much Green Day is Green Day. In fact, this album was so significant, it won Grammy for Best Alternate Album, and it's considered one of the defining albums of the punk rock genre. This album went to number 2 in the USA, and the top 5 in many other countries, and it actually sold around 20 million albums. So in the scheme of things, it's pretty successful. And the Rolling Stones put it as one of the greatest punk rock albums of all time. So very significant album for a first studio release in these guys. You've just got to, when you watch these guys, it's really, there's just absolute power here. Billy's vocals are very good indeed. His songwriting is pretty amazing as well. And, there's just an absolutely overpowering force of nature, these guys. And when you go to see Green Day, you're going to get blown away by them. This is how good they actually are. So off that Dookie album, we've got Longview. We've got a live version of that one. That's basically just around, hey, look, I've got nothing to do, I've got nothing to do today. Sitting around in my house, I'm a little bit bored. I'm hoping that life will take off at some point. So following up Dookie, which was a very significant album, we had Insomniac 1995. What was actually happening is that the punk rock crowd thought Green Day had sold out a little bit, but Billy said, "No, hang on a minute. No, we're doing just what we're doing. Just hang on, it's all good." But I thought, well, so they created the album Insomniac in 1995, darker lyrical tones, just to come a little bit back to their punk album roots. In 1997, their producer at the time said, hey, I think we need to do something a little bit different. And so out came Nimrod in 1997, and probably one of the songs that, if Green Day wasn't sufficiently powerful in their punk rock, they really cranked it up by cranking it down with Time of Your Life. This is the official and live version of that one below. This is just Billy and his guitar pretty much. And this song was in reaction to a girl that left him and moved to Ecuador. And so it was a little bit, about that. But when you look at the official clip, you see just people, they've all got blank looks on their faces. It's just a bit like, whatever. And, that life's a bit mundane and a bit boring. And I hope you have the time of your life. There's something, I suppose, a little bit prophetic about this as well. Just thinking forward a little bit, thinking, hey, we want our lives to be the time of our lives, don't we? We don't want it to be boring and mundane. But when we're in those moments like Longview, we're just sitting around waiting for life to start. It can be a bit of a challenge to know, well, what am I going to do now? So I think we need songs like this one to inspire us to actually think, well, hey, do we want the time of our lives or not? And if we do, what are we going to do to shake things up? Because when we're in our routines and our ruts, we sometimes forget to do that, and we think, oh yeah, whatever. But we've got to get our energy back, our second wind back, to be able to keep moving forward. And I think time of our life is a bit of an inspiration for that moment. That it's wishing, not just that you've had the time of your life, that you will have your time of your life as well. And that way, you can make the most of this life that we got. So if you're in this holding pattern, and I must admit, I'm a little bit in a holding pattern right now, a little bit. What am I going to do to break myself out of it a little bit more? I mean, we've had our chances, our opportunities. It's been okay, but there's always more we can do to bring out that time of our life moments. So who's with me on that? I trust you will be encouraged by the words as you listen to the song. Move forward to 2004, we get to the 7th album, American Idiot. Now, this was a highly anticipated album, this one, because Green Day had been doing what they were doing, building up the audiences, building up the crowds, playing live, doing all the stuff that you really, really do. And so a highly anticipated album, American Idiot, and they did not disappoint. This song is absolutely massive in sound, huge, grungy, the whole thing. It's a bit of a protest song, this one, looking at how come news is turning into reality television. So there we go, with all the stuff that was going along around at that time. We wonder why we're getting what we're getting on screen. Of course, we have no control over what happens on TV, but very much a protest song. I don't want to be an American idiot, but hang on a minute, I'm an American. So we've got, that went to number one, as I said, in the United States, and charted in 27 countries. It's pretty significant song, that one. We've got official and live version of that one. Again, just to watch that song, just look at the absolute power of this song. It's absolutely huge. It's full on. And this is what makes Green Day so compelling. Just remember, there's just 3 of them on stage, sometimes 4, so there's a lot of sound coming out for that many people. And so, enjoy what is the power of Green Day. I do remember the Simpsons movie in 2007, and who did they get to play the theme song? Obviously in cartoon form, Green Day. So very cute start to the start of the Simpsons movie, absolutely. Green Day have been highly influential in the punk rock scene, and they pretty much brought back the mainstream punk sound to the masses. And because of that, there's been many bands after them that have been inspired by these guys and have enabled true rock, hard rock to continue. Between 1990 and 2020, there's been, so that's 30 years, right? 13 studio albums, 4, I think that's live, if I can read my writing, 4 compilation albums, 47 music videos, 11 EPs, 43 singles, estimated to have sold around 90 million albums, including Complaint, the Independent, at least 4.5 million. Then we got Dookie that sold 5 million, and I think American Idiot sold quite a few as well. And so 90 million albums for 13 releases is pretty good, actually. They've had 92 wins from 214 nominations, including 3 American Music Awards, 6 Billboard Music Awards, 2 Brit Awards, so that's the UK. They've received 20 Grammy nominations, so there we go. They've won 5 of them, either as Green Day or in the individual solo right. They've won a stack of MTV Music Awards and a stack of California Music Awards. I think they took out 9 in 1 year there. So very influential and successful, and regarded by not just the fans but also by the industry as a significant act, these guys. So it's good to be able to give these guys a bit of a tribute today. So let's not hang around. The starter's gun has fired. We're not waiting for it to fire. It has fired. So let's get moving, guys, and let's get into this life that we get, the gift we have every single day. And I know for me, as I look at the blue sky of Adelaide today, it's just beckoning for me to get out there and have a bit of a wander around. So I'll do that after I finish this video off. So the links to those 6 clips are in the description below, and also included my last video from the Grateful Dead. So if you want to recap on them, feel free. Well, if you come back for another one, or this is your first time to Live Reflections for Music, great to see you here for the first time, or coming back for another one. I always look forward to doing these videos and bringing more content to you. Now we're getting closer and closer to the start of H, but we're not quite there yet. So next time we're going to get onto this little duo, Chaz and Dave. So until then, I'll catch you around. Bye for now.